So hello my people, welcome to my channel once again. Ade your best predict. In this channel we give you guys the best correct score prediction, betting strategy, and also betting prediction. Now in today's video I have a special strategy for you guys in case you must have been seeing some prediction on ice hockey. Many tipsters are using this particular sport games for their prediction, and sometimes they mix it with maybe basketball or football. This particular strategy is something that people are not really aware of because we are not really familiar with this particular game. People are more aware of the games that they are familiar with. Now, without wasting much of our time, I'm going to show you guys how you can effectively predict your games on ice hockey. There are some days that whenever you want to predict your games, you may be finding it very hard to select teams, and at the end of the day, you won't be able to meet up with your desired odd even after doing your accurate analysis. Now, don't stress yourself anymore. After picking some games, that is, games that meet the requirements from maybe football, basketball, you can actually opt into um the ice hockey betting style sports games too and predict your games on this. Now the first step that we do now is to select our ice hockey games, and we select our desired league to predict our ice to predict our games on. Now for me, let me first check on the USA league. So I'll be making my analysis on this particular league in this video. Now the first game that I'm seeing here is Toronto Marlies versus Rochester. Now, first thing you need to do is to click on it, and checking the stats doing the analysis is kind of something relating to the analysis of football. Now, click on the statistics to check the last previous games they've been playing with other teams. If you look at this very well, sometimes when you are not really familiar with a game, this is one thing that you need to first do. If you are just trying your prediction on a particular sport games, I will always advise you guys to always go for predicting overs. Predicting who to win is not something that is very easy to do like that, and in football you can predict handicap, which happens to be one of my best strategy in football. But now on cricket, I want to advise you guys to always go for who to win. Anybody can win in any sport. Now you can go for the over, even though you cannot get 100% accuracy in predicting over games too, but at least it will give you a high chance and high probability of good outcome. Now this is one thing that you need to first do: observe most of their games and observe most of their outcome. If you check the games very well in the last five previous games they've had with other teams, you will notice that most of their games ended up in over 5.5. Over 5.5. If you notice very well, you will understand that most of it ended up in like 7 points, 6 points, and the least there is 5 points. Now, if you check into the last previous game also, you will realize that most of their games ended up in over 5.5, but except in this particular game that ended up in 1-2. But it is not bad at the same time. It happens in sports. Consistency is not something that is very certain in sport, but by using the right steps and the right strategy is very okay. Now the next thing you need to do is to check the odd provided by the bookmakers. If you check the odd very well, the bookmakers are people, they are like industries that they are working towards. The objective and their goals is not for your own welfare, it is for them to make profit. So you won't expect them to give you something that will be very easy, something that will make you win, because they are looking for money. Now this is what you do: checking the odd, you can notice that the limit that the bookmaker provided is over 5.5, as it is the common outcome of this particular team. Now let us start our analysis. So is this thing is just something very simple, very simple, 100% simple. Check the last five games and check if at least, if you want to predict, if you want to go for predicting the over 5.5 stores, the over 5.5 odd that the bookmakers are providing. Check the last five games. At least in four of it, they must have played over 5.5. Now, checking this, they played 5-3. Checking this, they played 5-1. Checking this, I think this is after penalty. I don't really know the outcome of the game. And checking this is 5 on dots. And checking this is 6. Let's assume this one that they ended up playing 6-7. Maybe probably they go for penalty. Let's assume it is over 5.5. And in this situation, you are saying, okay, at least four of the outcome ended up in over 5.5. This, and this. Okay, the requirement for the home team actually is accurate. Now let's go for the away team. This the game ended up in 5-3 here, and here it is 5 on dot. Here another one it is 5 on dot, and here 6, here 7. So unfortunately, out of the last 5 games played by the away team, you can see that only 3 out of it ended up in over 5.5. So it does not meet the requirement of predicting the game as over 5.5. Another place that you need to look into is the last previous games that they had with each other. If you check it very well, most of it ended up in over 5.5, except this particular one that ended up in 1-2. Judging this particular aspect and stage, you can see that it also meets the requirement of predicting it as over 5.5. But the only place that we are currently having issue is this aspect that ended up in 5 on dot, like 5 points on dot. Now this is what you need to do. You are unable to predict the game as over 5.5, right? Okay, no problem. Now check if they played at least over 4.5. Yes, over 4.5. At least four of their games. Let's assume this. Okay, the last 5 games played with other teams, most of their games ended up in straight over 4.5 points. And looking into the away game also, all the 5 games ended up in over 4.5. Okay, this is perfect. Now go to their last previous games. At least I told you guys that 4 out of their 5 last previous meeting must always end up in your desired prediction. Now this ended up in over 4.5. This also ended up in over 4.5. The same thing happens to this and this, but unfortunately this does not ended up in over 4.5. But at least we are able to get 4 out of the last 5 meetings as over 4.5. Now, if you want to predict over 4.5 and you check the markets provided by the bookmakers, and unfortunately, they are not providing the market you desired for, which is the over 4.5. Now, this is the aspect that other you can explore other bet platform. There are varieties of bet platform that you guys can explore. Don't stick to just only one bet platform, because the market that they'll be providing for you may not be favorable. Now let's just check one xbet. So I have okay, this is one xbet, and this game we just check the stats right now, and we aim to predict it as over 4.5. Now let us check something. If you check this very well, this is their own over 5.5 odd, and this is their own over 4.5 market. That's it. So in the previous bet platform that you checked earlier, they only provide the market for over 5.5, and checking this particular bet platform, you can realize that they are giving us over 4.5. And note please, in sports betting, I will always advise my people that if you want to predict your game, make sure that you stake on your games with money that you can afford to lose. Because betting is not something that you can always accurately predict. I'm going to show you something now, and the reason why I said that you should always take with money that you can only afford to lose, and money that you can, the income that you can afford to dispose. Like maybe probably when you lose it, it won't be something that will really pay you. But this is what actually happened, and this is the reason why I said that. Checking the stats very well. If you look at this particular stat, and if you let us assume that in this particular game here, you predict the game as over 4.5, trust me, you won, because this is 4-2. In this particular game also, you predict the game as over 4.5, you won. Let us assume that this particular game also ended up in over 4.5, you won it. If you predict this in this particular match also, you won, because this is a consistent winning, and this is what will be happening every time if you are predicting the game as over 4.5. And checking this also, you are surely going to win it as over 4.5. Check this game, it is over 4.5. This game over 4.5. This also over 4.5. This also over 4.5. This also over 4.5. You can see the accuracy in predicting these particular games as over 4.5. But unfortunately, you cannot always be expecting or be seeing the same results in sport betting, because human beings are prone to changes. These sports games is something that is very dynamic. Now check the last 5 games. Let's assume you predict this particular match as over 4.5. Surely you won it. And checking on these two, you won it. Checking on these two, you won it. Now let us assume that you've generalize it that okay, every time that you use a particular strategy and it is working, definitely you'll be always be winning. It's not possible. That is the case of this place. If you have been predicting their games as over 4.5 and you predict all your life savings on this particular match that ended up in 1-2, you guys can notice that you've already lost your money, and this thing usually leads to frustration that can affect the mental state of many bettors. So I want you guys to put it in your mind that betting is not something that you can always be winning 100%, even using the best strategy. So this is the working strategy for predicting your over points in ice hockey. Ice hockey is a very sweet game to predict your games on, but how you are taking on it is what matters. Amount that you are able to, to lose, because betting is not something that you can just risk money that you cannot, that when you lose it, it will really take or have effects on you. Please take note of that. So it's a very simple strategy and very fast and straightforward strategy. Check the last 5 meetings for the home team, the last 5 meetings for the away team. Check at least they must have 4/5 of their last previous games as over 4.5 for both teams. And checking the last previous games they had with each other, and check at least they must have 4 games that ended up in over points, the over desired prediction. Now, thanks for watching, guys. I believe this particular strategy impact something in you. It's a very new strategy and very easy strategy to use on ice hockey. You can combine it with basketball, football, in case you are having a target, or maybe probably you want to pick or select 10 odds daily and you are unable to get like 5 odds from football. Maybe you got 2 odd. Now going to basketball, you got maybe like 3 odd, and going to ice hockey, you can accumulate the remaining 10 odd, or accumulate 3 odd with it, and checking or exploring the handball, because in the next video I have a special sports games prediction for you also, which is the handball prediction, handball betting strategy. This handball too is something very superb, very kind of like, it's kind of relating to basketball also, kind of like the analysis of it and the prediction of it. And I'm going to show you guys the right way to make use of the strategy on this particular game. So thanks for watching, guys. See you guys in the next video. This are their best predict. Thanks for watching. Bye.